Hey, 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 it's your boy. I'm sorry if you hear Lucy in the background. She's panting. Had to turn the air off, otherwise, you're going to hear that in the background. She's getting hot. And frankly, so am I. But anyway, I finally, I think, finished Starfield. Okay, this is going to be a spoiler episode. And, well, I like the game. I think the game was alright, right? You know, despite all the things that they've added to the game that makes no sense, despite the bugs and some bugs soft locking me out of whole quests, despite all that, I think it is a good game. I like the story. It's a game I put hundreds of hours into, and I shut my brain the fuck off in any game that can allow me to do that is a good game. Now, is it a perfect game? Hell no. There are so many bugs, but it's a Bethesda game, right? A Bethesda game is not a Bethesda game without bugs. You get what I'm saying? Like, again, I hark back to this bug, but if you have contraband on your ship before you enter a major planet, and if they start scanning you, if you fast travel to the area on the planet, you can't go to the main city because of reasons. But if you fast travel to like, I don't know, an outpost on the planet, you can just avoid being scanned altogether. Now there's a ship upgrade and I believe skill that can allow you to do that. But I think that's what you have to. That's mid game type shit. Well, first you gotta get one skill, then you gotta do the certification. Like again, I like how they did the perk system, because you get the skill, but in order to upgrade the skill, you need to be quote unquote certified. So you actually have to like say if you want the ballistic skill, right? Makes your guns, bullet weapons do more damage. You have to actually kill people with that type of gun in order to get this to upgrade the skill further. Same thing with another skill like the piracy skill. That's how you get one of the things that allow you to pretty much avoid make the contraband scanners worse. You gotta you know be successful in pirating a certain amount of ships. Like I like how they did that system. And the game, if you like Fallout, you'll like this game. Or if you like Outer Worlds, you'll like the game. But I'd say the game is different looking or different acting enough to where you can see similarities, but it's just not the same game. Like it never felt like Fallout or like Outer Worlds to me. It felt completely different. Now, granted, I never played Fallout 76, like, and I'm glad I didn't because I have people that have played the game and they're surprised at how terrible the game was. And this is at launch. The game's probably better now. I don't give a shit. But anyway, I like how they did that. Well, combat in Fallout has never been the best. That's why they have had the VATS system in Fallout, and in Outer Worlds they had some other goofy shit that slowed down time. Now I think Starfield has an equivalent to that. There's this Kim called Aurora, and it slows down time for like 40% for like 10 seconds. I do believe there's a skill that if you use your jetpack, you also slow down time. Now, the jetpack skill is late game type shit. You ain't getting that until later. But the Kim is contraband. So. And it's also an aid. See, most of the contraband you get. I'm going to keep talking about contraband because that's my entire character. Like, collecting like hundreds of things of harvested organs that I physically cannot sell all of them because I have so much. But godly, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, most contraband is in miscellaneous, but sometimes you'll forget. that Aurora, because it's not miscellaneous, it's an aid, which is where all your consumables are in. Sometimes you'll forget that and be like, wait, but I thought I stored all my contraband in this outpost. Only to find out that no, you didn't really store all of it. You forgot to look in aid for the Aurora. But anyway, like, they also have the outpost system that obviously was in Fallout 4. And in Fallout 4, I'm going to keep making these comparisons because I can't help myself. In Fallout 4, you can go without even caring about the outpost system, but I did because that's effectively half the game right there is your outposts. And if you play without it doing any of that, you're pretty much playing just half of the game. At least with this game, you don't really have to care. Now, I've seen people made some pretty juicy. I'm trying to make sure Lucy doesn't unplug this damn mic. Oh, there we go. Make some pretty juicy bases and pretty efficient bases. I don't care about all that. Like, I think one base I made was on a Kila City, which is a quest area. That's Lucy drinking her water. And another outpost was on the Helios moon, which is in the same system but a different planet. And that was for titanium specifically. Because so many fucking things to craft take titanium and aluminum. The one on the Kilo was aluminum. But yeah, if you want to do all that, you can. But if you don't, I mean, again, you're not losing anything. Nothing's being lost. So, I mean, it's fine. The quests are also good. I did like some of the main quests. The problem, and you'll figure this out after the first 3 main quests, that a lot of areas are padded that you go through. It's like, okay, for example, you go, if you do, say, again, spoilers, if you do the Crimson Fleet, like, one area, like, when you're going through this ship, and you have to find this thing for all the credits, to find this Crick's Legacy, which was pretty much a shit ton of money for the pirates. And you're undercover, so you're doing it for sysdef, but you're forced to, you're kind of infiltrating them. Like, when you're going through that ship, which was the first, like, quote-unquote main quest that I did, it was alright. It was fine. I mean, it didn't feel like padding. It was like, okay, so I'm blasting my way through this ship, and I found the shit and I have to blast my way back out because the ship is going to implode, and it's filling the ship with, like, hazardous bullcrap. Then you can see the radiation, like your health bar, your overall health bar lowering, because that's the new system. Instead of radiation, which was in Fallout, it just lowers your health bar, and it's hazardous bullshit. But anyway, the first time you go through that, it's fun. Like, I enjoy it. But then you go through, say, the other quest with the Vanguard, where you're going through this place with all the Terramorphs, and it's pretty much a maze, and you're like, okay, here's another maze-like padding bull crap. But then you're going through the exact same thing with Reveiw Industries, and I think that's a cyberneticist specific quest line, if I'm correct. Or I think anyone can get it, I don't know. And it's like, okay, so now I'm sneaking through the vents of this place. And it's like, okay, even more padding. Like, I like substance over padding. Like, substance is fine, but if it doesn't lead in, if it just, how do I say this? If it's just vast only for you to come to just this singular point, it's just like, and just do a thing, then leave. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, that's underwhelming. And there's so many quests like this where it just feels like padding. You're just going through this maze in a place. Sometimes sneaking, sometimes blowing through crap. It's like, there's so much of that it just gets tired. Like, I did the quest wrong. Like I went through the Reveiw bull crap, which is this obviously this corporation type place. So think of like Corpo and like Cyberpunk, and you're like just infiltrating and sabotaging all that. It's like I did that last when I should have did it first because that gives you a whole nother like late game power. My dog better not start barking because she needs to go out or we're gonna have some problems. But anyway, I do that and late game, and I feel like yeah, I probably should have did this early game. It's the same thing with the Vanguard quest because that smacks open an entire quest line with the Terramorphs. And Lucy, you better stop tapping the whole thing with the Terramorphs, and that's cool. I like that. But then again, I did it what mid to late game, and the Terramorphs were kind of like the Death Claws in Fallout, but they're more like the Fallout 4 Death Claws. So they are just kind of not that good. Other than like the Fallout New Vegas Death Claws, which could like smack you in one hit and come out the side of your screen, and before you can even do anything, they just kill you. And that's kind of a shame because I played the game on the hardest difficulty, and you know the first Deathclaw I met wasn't even in the quest. The first Deathclaw I met, it was just random, and it roared, and that was like a third. That was like half my health bar, and I was like, oh crap! But I had the one of the best guns in the game, the Big Bang, which is a particle shotgun, which stuns the hell out of them. And once I got that, everything else they just seemed easy, and it's a shame because I wanted a challenge, right? But it didn't give it to me. This is gonna be mainly ranting, but yeah. So the balancing is also weird, especially late game, because the game's not made for late game. Like early game, you'll find rare weapons, but they're effectively useless because they don't have any of the like attachments or anything. And you can put attachments on them, but then there's the advanced version of the weapon. There's the calibrated version of the weapon. Then there's some other version of the weapon. Obviously, the advanced version of the weapon is better with as the base than just the regular version of the weapon. So I was like, the best possible weapon is like an advanced, rare, with all the bull crap on it, shot like weapon that you get super late game that you might get, or you might just get the common version of an advanced weapon. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is okay, maybe. I don't know. What else? So I talked about balancing, which barely. Oh yeah, at least early game there was a challenge because I stick with the first ship until I bought like another ship for like 300,000 grand, and the game was actually challenging at that point because I had to pretty much abuse Bethesda AI and like wedge my ship between the station or around asteroids just to avoid fire and get in behind ships. And that shit was fun. Now I had my older PC, so I was playing it on like low settings, but that was fun. But then I got the ship because obviously you can still use Fallout logic and grab everything up and then sell everything to things and get a shit ton of money that way. So I bought this ship and everything else just seemed somewhat easy. Up until I don't know, fought like, you know, mid to late game enemies and they just blast me to pieces. Because it's a big ship with a lot of guns, was very slow and a big ass target and not very maneuverable. So again, that's all things you gotta worry about. Oh yeah, and then the minute I bought that ship, I realized I couldn't actually use it because my skill wasn't high enough. And see, but that's the thing about the game. It gave you something to work towards. Like, I bought the ship with 300 goddamn grand only to find out, oh, hey, I cannot use it until I get, like, my piloting all the way up. So I did that only to find out, oh, I can't really customize any of this stuff because I need to get this other tech thing all the way up. Then, oh, well, it has automated turrets. I might as well get the late game automated turret thing all the way up. And that's what I like about the game. It gives you something to work towards. It doesn't just hand it all to you. You have to put in the work to get it. And that's what I like about the game. And I actually enjoyed the game. And, back on the whole controversial pronoun thing, again, it doesn't affect the story, and it's clearly not implemented right. Because, like I said in my one video, there is a they them character that early game one character will refer to them as they them, but then you go to said case Vladimir, right? Spoilers. But then you go to Vladimir's house, and if you go to his house with what's that one blonde woman's name? I've completely forgot her name. She's my wife. Whatever. If you go to Vladimir's house with her, which is super late game, she will refer to Vladimir as he, him. Which, why do I care? I don't care. But if you're going to implement something, if you're going to put in time and effort to do this, you either do it right or you don't do it at all. Like, I get it. You're scared, Bethesda, you're scared to death of games journalists hopping down your ass. Like, it just scares you. It just, like, I see your hand. You're like, oh God, they're going to come after us. For the love of God, please do what the gamers want to begin with. Then worry about all that bullshit. Or don't do it at all. Whatever. I don't want to get into all that, but it just boggles my fucking mind. But anyway, I think that's everything. Again, I give the game an 8 out of 10. It's a good game. I can shut my brain off, play it, and there we go. That's a good game to me. Again, I ain't lowered. It's not my standards are lowered. It's just that they're realistic, you know. Well, I don't know what other game I'm gonna play, and I'm probably I don't know if I'm gonna do more videos like these. I mean, people don't usually watch game review videos except from like a select few of people, and they do it just to have their biases reaffirmed. Like, they don't watch like IMDb or any of them anymore because one, they're not game review channels anymore. They're clickbait. They literally say this. But anyway, see ya.